When someone mentions soft life, most of the time we equate it to money and luxury, which that is part, but truly soft life begins with self-love first, working through trauma and exploring the real joy of life. It's a life free of stress and full of purpose. My name is Miracle. I'm a business owner and educator. My guest and I would like to let you in on some soft life secrets. Hi, my name is Miracle Dixon, and today we have a special guest here, an author, an educator, and a philanthropist here to share his story. Troy Gordon, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
We're going to jump right in. Thank you, first of all, for being a part of the show. I appreciate it. I know I called you and you was willing to come on. And baby, based on this book, you got a lot to say. We're going to get right into this. First of all, what is a soft life to you?
For me, a soft life would be anything that's free of stress. And that's going to be your typical categories that you look at, your health, your mental, your financial, things of that nature. The big stuff that can weigh us down. So if I can live free of stress in those areas, I think that's a soft life.
Okay, that's good. That was very clear. All right. Okay, so I want to ask you a question before we jump into the book.
Okay.
When dealing with a woman, what do you feel she should bring to the table?
Well, I have a quote on my page that says, I'm a man of simple taste, easily satisfied with the best. So for me, the things that I look for in women, more specifically, personality, intelligence. I'm a sapiosexual. I like smart women.
Wait, what that mean? What?
It's people you're attracted to intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Sapiosexual.
Oh, I thought that was, okay. Finish.
So, style. I like women who are very stylish. I like girly girls.
Okay.
I love feminine energy. I want you to be a lady. There are a lot of things that, that I see now in today's society where decorum has been lost. Mm-hmm. And a lot of women don't carry themselves as ladies. Okay. So I think that's something that we're missing currently in society.
Elaborate on that. Like, what you mean they don't carry themselves as ladies?
How they talk.
Okay.
How they dress. Mm-hmm. Their interaction. Like, growing up, my grandmother, my mother, and I was always surrounded by, beautiful women. And I kind of talk about it in the book. My mother was a very beautiful woman.
Okay.
My aunt, her sisters, my godmother, my grandmother, my mother is actually short, but my grandmother and all of my mother's sisters are like 5'8". So they're tall women. They run the gamut. My mother's light skinned. My aunt is kind of like a little bit browner than me. My grandmother and my other aunt are very dark women. So I've always run the gamut on the women that I like.
Okay.
Now, my mother, I was a little more, I like women a little more. I love hair. Uh-huh. You got to have some baby hair.
Oh, it's plenty of that going around right now.
No, it has to belong to you.
Oh, baby.
Not you paid for it.
Baby, it's so many people that's over 30 with baby hair.
Oh, you talking about the edges?
Ain't nothing baby about them. I want that to stop. Right here today on this show, we are going to curse baby hair, okay? Okay. Sidebar. Okay. So you like baby hair?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna talk about that. So your ideal woman. It's interesting that you say you like baby hair. I'm gonna get into that because are you currently married?
Yes.
Okay. And your wife is she of African American?
No.
Descent?
She's not.
So what kind of baby hair she got?
She got real baby hair. But what's funny is
what kind of baby hair?
Her hair is naturally curly.
Oh, okay. So she
has some other stuff down her line.
Oh, okay.
And when most people,
but what do she identify as?
She identifies as a white woman.
Okay.
But when people see her, especially during the summer when she tans, they think she's other, like, Brazilian or something along those lines.
Okay. You just like beautiful women.
Yeah, I don't care what color they are.
Okay. All right. Okay, wait.
Which is a funny situation because a lot of people will see me and see her, and they automatically assume that white women would be my preference, and that's not my preference. I think the most beautiful women on the planet is a Bernice Burgos looking woman, brown, baby hair, that Dominican dark complexion with the baby hair. I think that's a beautiful woman. But they come in all shapes, sizes, colors, shades, the whole nine. So they run the gamut. I don't really have a preference. My type is more so engineered towards how you carry yourself and how you act. And your look.
Okay, Troy, tell me this. You mentioned that you are married, right?
Yes.
But you all live in different states.
Yes, my wife lives in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay, and you are here in the Atlanta,
Avondale Estates.
Avondale Estates area. All right, how does that work? How long have you been married?
12 years, and we've been together about 20 years.
Okay, so you've been married 12 years, but you and your wife has lived separately for
almost 9 years.
9 years. Wow.
Yeah.
More than half the marriage.
Over half the marriage.
Do you believe that's why your marriage have lasted this long because of distance?
No, I think obviously prior to her leaving, we had we've always had really, really good communication, which was one of the things that attracted me to her, us being able to communicate. And like, even when we initially started dating, we had a routine where every 4 to 6 weeks we would come and meet together and have conversations, kind of like a State of the Union. Like, where are we? What are you happy with? Do you like this? Are you happy with this? Do you want to change this? Things of that nature. And I think it has stood the test of time. Now, please, let's not get it twisted. It ain't easy. But where I was in my maturation, in the book I talk about love, and I think the acronym for love is letting others voluntarily evolve. So in my pursuit...
Wait, let me see.
Okay.
Letting others voluntarily evolve. Okay.
I was watching Breakfast Club one morning, and they had a lady on, and she used the acronym. So I kind of used it in the book. But in my personal, journey, and I have a chapter in the book on love. What is love? Okay. And most people don't really know what love is, as the lyrics in the music song. People they have different meanings, but really, if you love someone, it's about being selfless. And being selfless means I'm going to sacrifice. Okay. So when she initially got the job, I wasn't happy about it. But this was her dream. And I'm like, as your husband and a person who supports you, and I say I love you, no matter my insecurities, I have to allow you to pursue your dream, because I don't want you to be here and then you're like, I stopped you from your dream, or we 10 years down the road and you reflecting on your life and like, this like it made me miss out on this dream, because it may not come again.
It may not come again.
And she had already had issues. She was originally an art teacher, but she's like probably one of the smartest people I know. So they were telling her she was going to have to go back to school, because this is like when all the testing stuff was going on and all the scandals, and people were saying you had to be certified and this and that. So they were telling her she was going to have to go back to school to get another degree. She already had 3 degrees. Wow. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense for you to pursue. She had a degree, obviously her art degree, and then she had another degree where she did professional development, and then she had another degree where she was, her specialty was reading. Okay. So they were telling her she was just trying to get a job originally as a reading specialist. Okay. And they kept telling her, no, you can't do that, because you don't have the scores, because in art, you didn't have to actually test, map testing or Georgia milestones or any of that stuff.
What type of work does she do?
Now she's an executive director, which she's over principal. So she's right now currently getting ready to open 3 or 4 schools in Opelousas, Louisiana, that are, one is the AI school.
Wait, Opelousas?
Opelousas.
Opelousas.
So that's like in between Lake Charles and Lafayette.
Okay, all right.
So these schools are cutting edge. AI. They have a school that teaches children how to fly airplanes. What is it? Avionics, if I'm not mistaken. Her school is an AI generated school, so their specialty will be AI. On the cutting edge of everything AI. And so she's been on the ground floor building architect plans, colors, furniture.
Do you feel as though she's living a soft life?
I think it could be
Would she think she's living a soft life?
We sometimes differ on that.
Okay.
We sometimes differ on that because when she originally went down there, I would say stuff like, because when she left, I had the kids. And I'm like, you living a single life. Because, you know, the company that she worked for.
That's soft.
They did a lot of group events. They wanted, you know, to build morale and things of that nature. So they, company card, take the whole staff out to eat, drink, have a good time. They would do events.
Right.
So they were a very close-knit family. So sometimes she would call me and be like, oh, we just came from such and such. And I'm like, you live in a single life. Because basically you can come and go as you please. I have the kids.
Right. How old were the kids when she left?
When she left, my son was in the 2nd grade. And I have a daughter from my previous marriage. She's 6 years older than my son.
Okay.
So she was in middle school, 12.
Okay. And you have custody of her as well?
I did when she turned 13, 14. She came to live with me. So I had, when my wife left, I basically got, Chase was already living with me, and my daughter came to live with me as well.
Okay. So how do you maintain your soft life? Do you feel like you have a soft life?
It could be softer.
Okay. Why?
Well, the money that we make, if we were living together, our life would be way easier.
Right.
I mean, because we're basically paying
2 households.
2 households, you know, 2 cables, 2 heat, air, water.
Okay, wait. I'm trying to figure this out. All right, so y'all have a long distance marriage, successful marriage.
Yeah.
And so, how often do y'all see each other?
That initially, she was coming home a few times a month because the company everything stopped with COVID. Okay. So when COVID hit, she wasn't able to fly home as frequently. And then when my son went down there, it made it that much harder because he plays basketball and baseball. So, you know, training, games, summer league. So I started going down there more. Okay. So now it's once every 2 or 3 months, where it was 2 or 3 times a month. Okay. So that made things harder.
Okay. Yep. This is a long distance relationship. 12 years, 9 apart. Okay. So we're about to get into it, y'all. I know y'all got questions because I got them. All right. So, before we started this show, you said something about women have the power.
Yes, I believe that.
You believe women have the power?
Yes.
We got the power. All right. Elaborate on that.
Your body, your choice. Everything that men typically do, the impetus for it is the attention of women. So if women understand their power and learn how to harness it and use it for good, I think society would be so much better. Because in the book I talk about, you know, we have strong individuals coming together to form a bond or union that strengthens the family. Right. The family strengthens the community, and everything else trickles down from that. So if women understand their power, so I teach high school now. I didn't want to, but I do. And one of the things that I talk to the young ladies about is their decisions with the people they choose to hang out with or spend their time with. Because my daughter, I never talked to my daughter about not having sex. I told my daughter, if you don't choose the right person, the first thing I need to do is teach you how to make decisions, the right decisions. If I teach you how to make decisions will transcend all forms of life. They should work, play, friendships, et cetera, et cetera. So if you don't make the right decision, then your dreams will be deferred. So, you say my daughter is a grad student at Kennesaw and her major is chemistry. She's gone to several chemistry conferences around the country, represented Kennesaw well, won a couple, placed in some other stuff. She's been offered jobs, but she's going on, I think she wants to get her doctorate. So she should be finishing up next year in the summer. So she's very, she's an AKA. She was the president of the sorority. She was on the SGA for Kennesaw, representing the School of Chemistry.
Okay. So
we've talked and cultivated her and my ex-wife in reference to being a young lady, carrying herself as such. But, I'm from College Park, so, I'll keep it a buck. Hey, we ride down the street, we see a young lady at the bus stop pushing a stroller in the rain. She let somebody shoot her club up who can't even get her a ride. Is that the life you want?
Oh.
So real life experiences.
What's shooting the club up?
Impregnate her.
I'm sorry. I'm just, for those of you that don't know what shooting the club up means. Yeah.
Delivering baby shakes.
Okay. Getting pregnant by randoms. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they ain't random. That's where the selection and the power comes in.
Okay.
So I watched the clip and I cannot think of the guy. He's on social media, he has a big following. He brings guests on and he keeps it real. A lady came on his show and said, men need to do a better job of selecting the women that they ejaculate in. And he was like, are you serious? It's your body, your choice. So I can't do anything unless you allow me to do it. Not to mention women are receptors.
Right.
Meaning I ejaculate into you.
Right.
And you carry around my seed. So
right. But y'all can still make bad choices.
Oh, definitely. I'm not absolving men of responsibility.
Right.
So we want to make.
So they do need to be careful on who they shooting up.
They definitely need to
All right. Okay.
However, why would I let someone? I wrote a thing a couple of months ago. It might have been even longer. I think I reposted it. And one of the things they say is a manicured man is a well-trained man, right? Or a well-trained lover, more specifically. So I laugh all the time when I see dudes with dirty fingernails out with women. And I'm like, you gonna catch a yeast infection, letting him roll around on you.
Right.
So those are the stipulations that as women having the power, if you say, nah, bro, you can't touch me because your finger's dirty or your nails aren't cut or you're not groomed. Or whatever the case may be, these are the things that I'm trying to encourage young ladies that are 14, 15, and 16 years old to make better decisions. Why are you dating a dude who, he fight all day or he cut class all day or he flunking out or he's in alternative school or he wearing an ankle monitor. Like, you can't find a better choice. But what happens? I told a little girl the other day, I said, look, he gonna give you 3 babies, right?
You don't already told her. She gonna have
I told her, I said, he's gonna give you 3 babies. And 10 years from now, you're gonna be on social media saying you want a man 6 feet, 6-pack with 6 figures.
Right.
And that's gonna be a fallacy.
Right.
And when people were hating on the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, who Ed loves, he was giving them raw realism. Now, I think sometimes he was a little abrasive.
He was very abrasive.
I don't agree with everything he said.
I agree with most.
However, most of what he said was cemented in realism, which a lot of people don't want to hear.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to hear the truth.
No.
They want you to sugarcoat and tell them what they want to hear, and that's not reality. Let's get to this book, Insider Dating, The Guide to Finding Love by Learning How to Love Yourself. I talk about that all the time with soft life. Soft life doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship. No. It just means you need to love yourself. And in order to even provide a soft life or have a soft life, you got to love yourself. It starts within first.
Happiness is an inside job.
Happiness is an inside job. That's one of
my catchphrases. Happiness is an inside job.
And that's why I wanted you to elaborate more on this book. What inspired you to write this book? Now, let's go back. You've been married for 12 years, living in a different state for 9. I'm going to keep going over this, y'all, for y'all. And is this your first marriage?
No.
Okay, so this is not your first marriage.
No.
All right. If this was your first marriage, would you go for a long distance marriage like this?
No.
Okay, so.
Absolutely not. I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't evolved enough.
How long were you married the first time?
5 or 6 years.
Okay.
But we had dated for a long time as well.
Okay.
But,
so when did you write the book?
I wrote the book, I released the book 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
What inspired you to write this book?
My daughter, having a daughter. Most of my friends have grown children, and I started seeing a lot of the issues they were having with their children. And so I've always been a very forward-thinking, say what I mean person my whole entire life, which it gets me in trouble sometimes. And sometimes, it moves the needle. But I was seeing some of them have issues with their daughters. And I was like, yo, we lived a good life. And why wouldn't you share the pitfalls? So I tell a story in the book. My daughter is in 6th grade and she's starting sex education. So I go to pick her up one day from school. And my son is in the back seat. So she's 12, he's 6. And so I said, Lyric, how was school and what's going on? It was like the first couple of weeks of school. And she's like, Dad, we doing sex education. Well, y'all doing sex education in 6th grade? I said, so what are y'all talking about? She said, Daddy, we was in there talking about oral sex, anal sex. I said, what
in the 6th grade?
I said, are you serious? So she was like, yes, we're going to have to speed this whole process up. So I said,
wait, is this legal in the school system?
I don't know.
I've been out of school for a long time. I can't remember sex education.
I don't either. This was in Rockdale County.
Okay.
So I said, Lyric, do you know what boys want? And she's like, what you mean, Dad? I said, do you know what boys want? And she was like, not like basically she didn't know what I was talking about. I said, boys want your cookies.
Okay. So
she was like, Daddy, what's cookies? So my son is in the back seat and he blurts out, it's your vagina. So I'm like, Lyric, how does Chase know
and
what cookies
younger.
are? And he's 6 and you're in middle school and you don't know what cookies are. And what that was, and I tell that story in the book, that's the disparity a lot of times that we have between male and females when it comes to relational things. Now, there is a double standard. And I understand why the double standard is what it is. But what it did, in a lot of instances, it did an injustice to women because typically women are told, meet a man, you're going to settle down, and that's it. And men are encouraged to sow oats.
Okay.
So what typically happens, men go out, they sow oats, they get their feelings hurt or heart broke, and then they say, you know what, I ain't doing this shit no more. I ain't never being faithful again. I'm gonna run the streets, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, whatever.
Okay.
Women, on the other hand, have less experience. They're told not to go out and sow oats, because if you do, you're a 3 or 4. So they come in with less experience. Not to mention, you start the double standard and you start thinking of all the taboo things. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Then think back to high school with women who were forward in their thought process about sex and how men would, treat them unfairly or start vicious rumors, lie on them even.
Right.
I never was that guy. If she gave me the pleasure of spending time with her, it was because I have the confidence to make that work.
Okay.
Not because she was less than or she was a 304 or any of those type things.
Right.
But I've been in locker rooms. I've been in where men, say disparaging things about women based on, who they slept with. I think there are some parameters that you can start discussing things. We've seen society where women get on and say, oh, I've had 1,000 partners. We might need to talk about that. I think there's a disparity in a woman who's...
So it's double standard. If a woman has had 1,000 partners and a man has had 1,000 partners, a woman is going to be looked down upon.
Yeah, definitely. In society. But then we go back to women are receptors. You carry soul ties.
Right.
especially if you're having unprotected sex and you're letting men ejaculate or shoot up your club, or
Well, women they ain't gonna tell you though they body count though.
No. You got to multiply that times
whatever they tell you.
Yeah.
5 means 25.
But even 25. With that, if you've been dating and you've had a boyfriend, obviously you're gonna have relations.
Right.
The problem for me personally, when you start talking about thousands of men, or you letting several men line up to enjoy your pleasures simultaneously, those things, now obviously to each his own.
Right.
Here's another thing that I talk to women about, and I especially talk to my daughter.
But I don't think that is a soft life.
Some women think it is, especially if they're getting something out of it.
You think?
I don't think. I'm just saying.
Okay, so you're saying that a woman feels she's living a soft life, getting a train ran on her?
I just watched a video the other day, and this lady said that's her happy place.
Interesting.
I didn't say I agreed. I'm just saying.
Interesting. Now I'm gonna tell you this. I have talked to some older women who have gone through menopause, and they've talked about how more active they are in their elderly years than they were in their younger years.
That's the MILF syndrome.
So, but this lady lives a very soft life, and she was, no worries. She has casual sex and no strings attached. I'm trying to figure out, would you be involved? Do you consider that living a soft life?
It could be, depending on perspective.
Okay.
What I would say, and what I tell my daughter, and this is where women get it misconstrued. You can think anything you want to think. At the end of the day, can you handle the consequences of your decisions? So if you know that there's a double standard, or you will be ridiculed based on your decisions, then obviously you got to be 100% knowing, if I do this, I'm going to be talked about, I'm going to be scandalized, and can I, stand the rain at the end of the day?
Okay.
So when my daughter was in middle school, young lady started sexting. So I told my daughter, I said, look here, if you ever send a picture to a boy, you might as well walk through the school butt naked, because it's going to be shared by everyone.
Right now,
everybody's going to see your business and know your business.
Media.
So if that's what you decide to do, if you decide to have sex with this guy, one time I'm in Louisiana, my daughter called me during spring break, and one of her friends had given her virginity to a young man, and when they got back to school the following week, he acted like he didn't know her. So she was like, Daddy, you told me that was going to happen. I said, I sure did. And I said, so here's what you need to do. Use your cookies. If you don't give it to him, unless that's what you want to do, don't give it to him because he lied to you, because he told you what he wanted. You thought you wanted to hear, because he said he was going to do this, or you thought he was going to do X, Y, Z. You give it because that's what you want to do, because at the end of the day, when you walk away from it, you got to be okay with that decision. And if you're not, you're not.
Okay.
And that's why women lie about their numbers. Because if you was giving it away and you were okay with giving it away, and he acted like he was supposed to act and all that kind of stuff, you wouldn't care. But if you got to lie about it, then obviously you have some reservations about your decisions. Right. Which is an indictment.
Right. So everybody you slept with, you don't have no reservations. You
reservations?
I mean, everybody you slept with, you don't have any regrets about anybody that you've been with.
Now, it's a few things.
You ain't never met crazy. Crazy ain't never came out.
I done met a whole lot of crazy. I done had windows knocked out, tires cut, convertible tops cut.
Okay.
I done ran across a few unpleasant smells. I've been to the clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have wrote the book.
Okay, so all this is inside this book.
I tell a story about that in the book.
The clinic, all that?
Yes.
That's book number 2.
No, that's in this book.
Oh, that's in this book too?
That's in this
okay,
book. Yeah.
okay.
I tell the story about the green boogers in the drawers.
Oh, whoa. Okay. This is not for, this is not, if you're young, get off right now. This is not PG-13. This is RX. Okay, so let me go back. I just can't, my mind won't let me get off the fact that you got this long distance marriage. Y'all only see each other twice a month, maybe. Mm-hmm. How old are you?
55.
How old is your wife?
45.
So she's at her prime.
You could say.
Okay. And so, are y'all, do y'all date other people?
No.
So y'all are exclusive?
Yes.
He's a strong man, ladies.
No. I mean, but I had a good run.
You had a good run.
Yeah.
So you're mature now.
Very.
Okay. And you're, okay. It takes a lot of trust.
It does. And if I was the person that I was in my previous marriage, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this.
Okay. So you've been 100% faithful to your wife.
Yes.
That is awesome. That is awesome. One of my guests said that the hardest thing for him was, women come at him all the time, and he said he had to make a decision to choose to do right when his wife wasn't around. I thought that was very profound. Like, a man choosing to do right even when she's not around. What are your thoughts on that?
That's basically, it sums it up in one statement. I mean, it's a choice. You make a choice every day to say, I'm going to do right by her.
Right.
I'm going to do right by the kids. I'm going to do right by this situation.
So the men that don't do that, what?
But I don't know if it's that cut and dry. Obviously, there's, a level of maturation. Mm-hmm. There's a level of understanding. I'm going to tell you something significant. Before we got married, there was a period where our communication was so good. Mm-hmm. When I felt like I wanted to go do something based on my previous history, I would tell her, hey, I was getting ready to do X, Y, Z because you did X, Y, Z, and it made me feel like I need to go do this.
So you told her, I'm about to go cheat because you was doing this.
Whatever.
And made me feel less than.
Whatever it may have been.
Whatever, okay.
Going along to get along, whatever the case may be.
Okay, and what was her response?
We would sit down and have conversations like, well, why do you feel that way? How did we get here?
Okay.
Things of that nature.
I forgot. Because had that been a sister, the conversation probably would have went a little different. Just a little bit.
I've had the pleasure of experiencing women from various, ethnicities. Mm-hmm. And I keep it real. So I haven't had a whole lot of issues with, either you with my plan, my program, I talk about that in the book, either you with my program or you not.
What's your program?
Whatever I say it is.
Oh my gosh, this is a different topic. My program, his program is whatever he says it is.
But see,
not what she says.
But a lot of men.
Do y'all compromise on the program?
We can. If we come into a situation, I dated a woman once before where I had a key to her house. She dated other men, and I would go to her house and wait for her to come home from her dates. What
is that called?
I don't know, but I did it.
Oh my gosh. This is a different topic, different day. But is that polyamor? What's that? You allowed her to go out on dates with other men. You dated her. Mm-hmm. You would wait at the house till she came back.
I had a key to her house.
You would be at the house waiting for her to come in from her date.
From whatever I had going on.
So what you would say? Go wash? Go take a shower?
No, because those were her date buddies. I was the cut buddies. The other dudes were the date buddies.
Okay. different topic, different day. Okay, let me tell you something. This has been so good. I'm gonna have to bring you back. Look, I got to finish reading this book in its entirety. But I'm going to bring you back because, baby, you done said something. And I know the women are in an uproar right now. They want some answers, and they want them now.
We got them.
Okay, so I'm going to have to bring you back. Troy, this book, ladies, I can't make this up. I can't make it up. I'm going to have to bring him back after we get into this book. Y'all, when y'all get a chance, get this book, Insider Dating, by Troy Gordon. Is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. We may have to do a talk on this.
I'm not saying this because it's my book. It is a really, really good book. Everybody who has read the book, I know I'm from here. And I know a lot of people. I was formerly in a group called U Boys, which was the precursor to Organized Noise.
Right.
Kevin Wells was my big brother, who I was in a couple of different groups. So I've been around music. I did an entertainment magazine called Plug in the early 2000s.
I remember that.
Plug to tell you everywhere to go. So I've been on the track for a long time.
Okay.
So, I wrote the book because I work in education and I see the trials and tribulations that are impacting us as Black people and our families with the children and things of that nature. And I'm like, we don't have enough information about knowing what happiness is, understanding mental health, and the things that we need to have before.
Stop right there. We don't want to go too deep. We got this gonna be part 2, baby. You giving them too much. Make them buy the book. Go get the book. Make them buy the book.
Go get the book.
Hey, y'all, it has been great. Thank you, Troy, for taking time out your day, for coming on to the show. We will definitely have you back. Like I said, I know these women going to have some questions, and you're going to be put on the hot seat, okay?
Tell them to come holler at me. Instagram and TikTok and Facebook.
Tell them where they can find you. Look at that camera.
Insider Dating on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Okay. Insider Dating. Is that where they can find you?
Yes.
Okay. There you have it, guys. This is another episode that we're wrapping up. Until the next time, I hope you all have a blessed day.